as opposed to Anthony Davis. However, with the word valuable, as I said, having alterable definition and meaning to each and every person, I feel that a certain level of success needs to be obtained in order for one to be eligible. And I do feel that I just have to use that as a tiebreaker this year because there's so many candidates. Otherwise, he'd have been up there. But Russell Westbrook had 11 triple-doubles this season. I want to say 8 of those were after the All-Star break. The man was a wrecking crew again. He had injuries on his team. Kevin Durant pretty much out for most of the whole season. Not the entire season, but most of it. Serge Ibaka went down with the last month or two to go. That really killed a lot of their momentum and playoff hopes that they had. Westbrook was the only thing that kept him going the whole time. However, he had some injury issues as well. He ended up playing in 67 games, so he missed 15 games. And Westbrook's shooting percentages are not good because he shoots a freaking ton. But he shot 43% from the field, 84% from the free throw line, and 30% from three-point land. And I want to say that's like 29 point something, but again, I rounded up or down. However, he did win the scoring title this season, finishing with 28 points a game, 7 rebounds a game for a little point guard. Are you kidding me? 9 assists a game. When you're shooting that many shots a game, when you're shooting like 30 shots a game or more, that's putting it probably modestly for Russell Westbrook. When you're shooting 30 shots or more a game and you're still getting 9 assists a game, I mean, this guy's doing everything for his team. 2 steals a game, no blocks, 4 turnovers. If that 4 turnovers was 3 or 2, it'd be hard to argue those numbers regardless of the team's success. The fact that they contended would be enough success to warrant voting for that man if those turnovers was around 2, like I said. Or if the field percentages, if the shooting percentages were up a little higher too, maybe. But and then my 6th and final honorable mention is CP3 Chris Paul of the LA Clippers. Now, nobody brings this guy's name up, and it's a shame because his LA Clippers were the 3 seed, the number 3 team in the West, toughest conference. We've been over this. And he did it, carrying the team on his shoulder for the most part, elevating the play of others, making DeAndre Jordan an all-star. When Blake Griffin went down with injury, what did they do? Yeah, they didn't miss a beat. Chris Paul just said, okay, I'm going to turn DeAndre Jordan into an all-star then instead of Blake Griffin. And DeAndre Jordan turned into a 2020 machine. Guy can't hit the broadside of a barn from the free throw line, but he's a 2020 machine. Now, CP3's numbers were 19 points a game for a point guard who is more of a distributor. That's really good. 5 rebounds a game. That's great for a point guard. And 10 assists. 19 points and 10 assists a game. That's awesome. Those are really good numbers. 2 steals a game, no blocks. Only 2 turnovers a game. And also, since I brought the plus-minus up, and Steph Curry, because his is mind-blowingly higher than almost everybody else's. One of the only people in the league who has a plus-minus that is almost as impressive as Steph Curry's is CP3, Chris Paul. He's got a 9 for plus-minus. So he is, when he's not on the court, his team plays way worse than it does when he's on the court. That's what the plus-minus means. For, to sum it up in a nutshell, basically. But so anyway, we've got 6 guys now that we've went over. I've given you the numbers, given you the thoughts, the team success. We got to get to some kind of understanding and move on to other topics. But I'm going to just tell you personally, I just can't. If I had a vote, I would have to cast it for James Harden. You combine the team success with the individual demands and individual production that guy has done from top to bottom. I just have to give him a slight nod. And again, this is if I'm voting. If I am voting MVP, I vote Harden number 1 very slightly. Then it gets really tricky. Then I'd probably have to go with LeBron James, followed by Anthony Davis, followed by Chris Paul, followed by Steph Curry. Like, Steph Curry would be my last, probably, if I had a vote. because it's most valuable player. If it was NBA Player of the Year, boom, Steph Curry, done. But man, he's got he's got too much all-star talent around him. Or I don't trust that plus minus. I know the plus minus says that his team does worse when he leaves the court than any other star player's team when they leave the court. I understand that's what it says, but I don't buy it. I think that's because I think that's a style of play statistic where when he's out on the court, they're very run and gun. They're shooting, they're getting So that's where we're at with the Wild. In the rest of the hockey playoff action going on, we've got the Montreal Canadiens trying to sweep out the Ottawa Senators tonight. They're up 3-0. And that would be over in the Eastern Conference. Also out east tonight, it was a 6 o'clock start, both those games. We also have the New York Rangers up 2-1 over Pittsburgh. That game was tied at 1 going into the third. Not sure who won that one, but I know it was tied. Go 1-1 in the third. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Crikey, I've lost my mojo. That was for you, Petey. Anyway, the final game tonight would be the Anaheim Ducks trying to finish their sweep of the Winnipeg Jets. That game also started at 8:30 when the Wild started. That one I find awesome because everybody I was seeing was picking the Jets to win that series, and the Anaheim Ducks I felt were just getting horribly disrespected, and are a really strong team, and how you pick the last wild card over a number one seed ever is just, it's unnecessary and ridiculous unless you're a fan of that team geographically, like that's your team. But so the Jets could be swept by the Ducks tonight. We've also got Chicago leading Nashville 3-1. That game I want to say went into overtime last night. Nashville just kind of threw it away there towards the end. I do not want to see, as a Wild fan, I would love to see Nashville in the next round. I do not want to see the Chicago Blackhawks in the next round. They're kind of our Yankees. They're kind of our daddy. And I think they're fast enough and physical enough where they can skate with us to an extent and apply some of their physicality a little better than the Blues have been able to do thus far against us. And I just don't like that matchup from a Wild fan standpoint. But it does look like, like I said, Chicago is up 3-1 in their series. They play tomorrow night. Calgary Flames are up 3-1 on Vancouver in their series. They'll play tomorrow. Detroit Red Wings are up 2-1 on the Tampa Bay Lightning. That'll be tomorrow. And the Washington Capitals are tied at 2 games apiece in their series with the New York Islanders. That's it for hockey playoff coverage this week. We'll move quickly over to NBA playoff coverage, and then we'll move on from basketball entirely. Currently in the NBA playoffs, we've got the Golden State Warriors with a 2-0 series advantage over the New Orleans Pelicans. However, the Pelicans they've been at least competing in these games. Nobody expects them to win more than 1 or 2, I don't think, but they're at least not getting blown out, and they're proving